My name is Keith McIntyre. I pastor the Independent Baptist Church of Montezuma, and just appreciate the work of Parke Without Reverse and their ability to connect people with government. And I believe that Christians need to be connected with government and be aware of what's taking place. We've come alongside them to help for a couple of months to get the town council and board meetings out. But would like to invite you, if you don't have a church home, to the Independent Baptist Church in Montezuma. Our services are Sunday morning at 10:30. We have adult Bible classes and children's classes at 9:30. If we could ever do anything for you, you can contact me at mib.church. Thanks for watching.
Okay, call to order. Department head comments. Potter.
We're doing reassessment. We have gotten Raccoon done. We have gotten Rosedale done. We are now into Union. Look out, Mr. Pratt.
Oh, good. You always see dollar signs.
I do. We're in the middle of informal appeals hearings. We've had several that have withdrawn, so that's a good thing. And we have our IBTR hearing with Mr. Jonathan Dombrow on September 11th at 9 a.m. So Maryland's taking care of all that. Otherwise, we're doing great.
Good. Sheriff?
I guess I just need to make sure you guys read the commissary fund report for this year, or at least received it.
We did receive it.
Okay. And then we have a deputy leaving, so we'll be hiring a new deputy here in the next month.
What was that again? Sorry.
We have a deputy that's leaving, so we'll be
Oh.
hiring a new deputy within the next month. That's all I have.
All right. Luke?
Just move forward with community crossing grants and getting those roads paved. We had timely submission of a second draw. We would like to request some gravel money. It's been pretty much depleted prior to my arrival, and then we need stone to put down some roads before they can be paved on 200 North, and then also gravel for backfill on 775 East. The amount we request is $26,000.
We have additional from your local roads and streets for $35,000. Is that the same one, or is it something different?
I don't know where that number come from.
Well, I don't either. That's what we have.
That's the dust control.
Oh, that's the dust control.
No, they
all
have
right.
requested.
So the money you talked about, do we have that request then, or we don't have any paperwork on that?
No, this is the first I've spoken on it. And that dust control program is done for the year, so I'm not sure where that.
Well, it's to basically it reappropriates the money that the people paid in for it.
Yeah, so we'll take care of that. Yeah.
We spent the money to do the job, people paid in, and so then it's pretty much happens every year.
Okay.
So that revenue that comes back in, that gets reappropriated back into the line to be used for patching and so on, or yeah, that's generally what happens out of that fund. Patching and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, that's a non-issue.
Okay.
I don't see any reason why we can't do something about the gravel. Can't do it now, but
We would have to advertise.
it has to be advertised and all that kind of stuff.
Can we go ahead, you think, and let him go ahead and do it?
Yeah, we can let him do it. I think I would really like for that, if at all humanly possible, to come out of local road and streets, because there's there's a far better cash reserve there than there is in the MBH. Although we could do it out of restricted, do the additional out of restricted, because there's a balance sitting there too. That's where
Well,
it's
just
at.
tell him which one you want. They'll have to submit the request.
Yeah. Now submit your additional from, let's do it from restricted, from 1173. The line that you're using right now for it, just submit an additional for it for next month.
For that amount.
And go ahead and get what you need to get.
But you can go ahead and get the gravel and stuff. The paperwork will catch up.
Yeah, and a lot of the big effort is, 200 North needs gravel because it's got the dirt berms. We need a buffer layer before we can pave it. And then 775 East, there's a big effort for drainage. So that new pavement will last a lot longer. And we're putting in a lot of culverts and doing a lot of drainage down there.
Are these both crossings roads then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's taking an extra step before, so it's in addition to.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we'll submit that request.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mary Alice?
We finally got our credit card machine we've been waiting on for a little over 2 years. So that's a new thing. And US Imaging is getting ready to come back and rescan some that didn't work out for us. So we're still cropping in for the books and working on that.
Okay, good deal. Nicole?
We're getting ready to gear up again for the election, getting that all prepared and set up. Yesterday I went to Brownsburg with Chris O'Brien, and we're going to work on getting us a game plan together for preparedness for in case an emergency happens during the election and how we're going to handle that situation. So.
Okay. Good deal. Stephanie?
Okay, you do have copies of the applications, right, for the opioid funding requests?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to start with the Hamilton Center for, this is to purchase the Too Good for Drugs, which is an evidence-based program that will be used for 6th through 12th grade. And the curriculum is based on grade level. And the price, or what's being requested is $1,568.80. And this curriculum is from the Mendez Foundation. Like I said, it is an evidence-based program. And this curriculum will be used for case managers to use during those meetings with particular students that are identified by the school counselors.
Is that in all county schools, or,
Yes.
so this $1,568.80 is covering both school corporations?
This is just for Parke County Community Schools, yes. Parke County Community Schools.
That's a yes from the Hamilton Center friends.
It would be not just schools, but DCS referrals, juvenile probation, anyone.
I understand
from
that
Parke
part,
County.
yeah. Okay. That, it's identified, I just wanted to make sure we were talking about both school corporations as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I would like to request that amount be from the opioid restricted, which is Fund 1237. The other application is for Southwest Park School Corporation, and they are requesting $20,000 to provide school groups in Rosedale, Montezuma, and Riverton Junior Senior High School. There will be, at Riverton Junior Senior, there will be 2 groups per day, Tuesday through Friday. And it is groups that have been conducted the last several years. And Alexis is here. She is the counselor at Riverton Junior Senior High School to provide some more detailed information of how those school groups work out in the schools. I'd like to hand it over to Alexis.
Yes, so initially we were able to utilize ESSER funding to support the groups with Hamilton Center in-kind donations as well. Last school year, we were able to, Hamilton Center provided 318.5 hours for free for our students, corporation-wide. Those groups range from anything from the preschool kiddos taking bouncy, which helps them to be the bosses of their body and learn how to control themselves. There's a Wiggles group as well that has a similar programming to being a good friend, loving yourself. There's a Love Yourselfie curriculum that has been utilized in the elementary schools, 5th, 6th grade, as well as our junior, senior high school. In the high school, we've had kiddos in groups that explore family systems, trauma, that look at, healthy relationships, things of that nature. Things that just help our students to see, one, that working to break the stigma of mental health, to see that there are healthy ways that they can manage difficult situations, encouraging them and teaching them coping skills, and just, really trying to help them to see that there are healthy ways that they can exist.
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Well, he had a question about something.
Yeah, it's just on our paperwork,
Sorry.
it's not,
Sure, oh, it's no problem.
it's in our paperwork.
So this begs the question, because last month we just did one of these for North Central Park, right?
For 8,000.
For 8,000, and this one's 20 for Southwest Park. Now, I don't expect the school counselor to be able to answer this question because you have your own program that you're doing, and your counterparts aren't here, obviously. But what's the difference?
Between the two,
Yeah, I mean, why does Southwest Park need? I mean, it's a question of why is it $12,000 more there than it is at North Central Park? I mean,
my guess would be, and I think maybe Stacey can help, the nature and the amount of services that are provided. I don't think that we use the Hamilton Center, we leverage those services in the same capacity. My background is mental health counseling, so I kind of came from that world, and I love it, and I know that there is a huge need in our communities, especially for our children to be supported and to see that, there's nothing wrong with getting help if you need it. And so I don't know the number for North Central Park,
Right,
but I would say they probably didn't get to the 318.5 hours of skills services
Right.
that we would like to at Southwest Park. We would love to continue for our kids. Yesterday was the first day of school. And I completed, as a licensed social worker, I completed 4 safety assessments. 4 kiddos came in the first day of school, 3 of which were before lunch. And they were saying things like, I'd rather die than be here. I'm struggling, I want to kill myself, And so the first call before 9 a.m. was to Hamilton Center to set up a crisis assessment. I'm not saying that is, a unique experience.
No.
But Hamilton Center has stepped up in a really
My point's not really whether or not you're utilizing it. I guess really this question is really more for the Hamilton Center folks is what is the difference? How much more is being used there than between corporations?
Well, this is the first opiate settlement funds request from the school corporation.
But they both do school groups.
Correct. They used ESSER funds previously.
Correct.
Southwest Park did. North Central Park did not pay for any services.
No, I understand that, but we also went through this last year in here when there was a request for North Central Park for opioid funds or at least somebody put it through, that was school groups for North Central Park. Then we did it last month again for the school year. Now we're doing Southwest Park.
Those are the same 2 grants.
No, they're separate.
They were not. They were the same.
So we approved the same grant twice?
I don't think a check was ever cut to the school the first time.
And I can explain that.
Okay.
My discussion with Mary Ann was that it took place in different years. So when we first discussed that application for $8,000. That was in 2023, and the additional appropriation was submitted at that time. Then, time passed, and when so it became 2024, and so I had to resubmit another.
Okay, so payment was never requested out of the additional and the grant request from 2023, so then here we are doing it again in 2024 because it was,
It
Okay.
was, I
all right, that makes a little bit more sense.
misunderstood of submitting the actual.
Right, because the additional's expired.
The additional expired at the end of the year, and they
don't
never
carry over
It
into
did
the
not
next budget
carry over
year.
to the next.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
So I guess the question, this may be an auditor question more than, that's why I'm trying to figure out the numbers. So we have the 20,000, which was for Southwest Park. We have, then the sheriff has asked, and I guess we never got to that, but the sheriff has asked for license plate readers, and that's the 10,950.
No, license plates, oh, yeah, yep, license.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, and then they just asked for 1568.80.
It's right here.
And then there's an 8,000.
It's the National Night Out grant.
Oh, and that's the national night out. Okay, so that's where it all comes from.
Yeah, that's what.
I would, for the Parke County Sheriff's Office, for the license plate readers, in our, the JRAC meeting, it was discussed that maybe that 10,950 could be used from the 1238 fund, the opioid unrestricted fund. And because it will be used for, Jason, can you expand on the license plate readers and how they will?
I think we've talked about it before, but
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to,
Yeah, you don't have
we know what they do.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we're aware of that.
So we were, in the JRAC meeting, we discussed presenting that, as a request out of Fund 1238.
Right, and that's what it shows on our paperwork,
Okay.
is the 1238 for the 10,950, right? Yeah, got that.
Well.
Okay, is there any other questions amongst the council about any of those figures?
But that'll have to come back before us too, because it's a category transfer.
Did you want to go, did you, something else you want to say, go ahead.
Did you want to, the Parke County Sheriff's Office for National Night Out?
We're aware of that, so we don't need to go weird,
Okay.
we're aware of that. Thank you though, but we're aware of that. Okay. Okay, who have I missed? Did Hamilton Center want to say anything, public comments? Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes from the prior meeting?
No minutes,
No minutes. We do need to get those caught back up,
yes.
so next time we
They
do
will
need to have
all
them.
three.
A little hectic.
Okay, we'll go down to the additional, so you've heard from everybody. We do have also the joint one that we tabled from last month, and Cindy had reached out to them, and you have an email,
No, I did.
or
She
you
said it to
did?
me.
Okay. You wanna talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah, you actually did, that's right. So, and this, I guess, is in your packet. Joint was awarded 636 locations during NLC 3. At the time of invoicing, they were 20% or 129 locations complete. To date, they are 28% and should be moving quickly around Raccoon Lake with some drilling equipment. Now, my concern, Cindy has asked for more information. There wasn't 636 locations available when they applied. Now, for those that were here on the council when we did that, we didn't just pay for the eligible locations. There was a small number, but they would pass and this same applied to Bloomingdale. They would pass many other ones on the way there. So they were all included. All right, so when they got their awards for however many they got, and how we had set it up with them is that they would then be able to also count the ones that they passed in that process. But the problem is we don't know what they are and where they've been and who actually got awarded, and that's what Cindy is still trying to get out of them. I do think that we owe it to everyone and the taxpayer and stuff to make sure that the resolution that we pass, which is funding it on a dollars per passing scenario, is fully committed and fully followed. So I personally would still like to get the information of what they have truly done in regards to their grant and their construction myself. So I would like to give Cindy a little more time to try to get that out of them. She just got this a couple days ago finally, and we went through this a month ago.
What we need is a list of locations, really. It's probably
Well, that would be helpful. It would be
That
helpful.
would be.
It'd be helpful to have the ones that they got granted for and then the ones that they're passing in the process.
Right.
And how many they have done. I don't think that's irrational when we're paying on a per passing scenario.
Well, we can just table it again and give her more time to work with Joint to try to get the information. That's really all we need.
So I will make a motion to table the joint additional from last month again.
Motion made and seconded to table the additional from last month for Joint. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Got that done. So now you have the additionals that have been just presented.
You want to go through them? I mean, we don't have to talk about any but the ARC one really. We've done the other ones.
Okay, the first one is in regards to the dust control money for the highway department, and the amount of $35,141.83.
We should make a note that how we have done this both ways, but it's really a reappropriation as much or more than anything that we can save a little bit of problems down the road next year when we do this and so on and so forth. Is actually submitted as a reappropriation. Money paid back in for services rendered, we do them from time to time too. Anyway, go ahead.
And the second one is for building maintenance at the jail, core facilities, in the amount of $337,569.09. Sorry, I need my glasses on. Sorry about that. Then we have the...
That's the siding
Yeah.
project, the big project at the jail that was
Yeah.
out of ARC.
It's 50% completed. Let's see, and then we have the opioid restricted and the opioid unrestricted.
Why did the license plate cameras have to come out of unrestricted?
It would be, when we discussed it in the JRAC, when we were reviewing the list of the eligible expenses in that document, we decided that maybe in the training it provided funding for staff training and networking programs to improve the government. And then with further discussion, we thought that it might fall under research as well, with the monitoring, surveillance, and data collection and evaluation. So we wanted to be sure that even though it fit with those two, that could follow under the 1237 fund, we thought that it would be best if we use the 1238 fund, that there's less restriction on the 1238 fund, even though it does meet the criteria that they suggest that you use for 1237. we wanted to be sure that it could be funded.
Okay. Well, all I'll say about that is that generally when you have a fund that has restrictions associated with it and a fund that does not, we deal with this at the highway as well. If something fits in that restricted group, you use that first because the unrestricted can be used for anything that the restricted can be, right? So anything else that we've talked about here today could be paid for out of unrestricted without any issue whatsoever. So my only point here is if something fits in restricted, you should be using that first because unrestricted is always available for anything regardless more or less of what any stipulations that the government set on it. So I'm just, it's too late to do anything about that right now. That's more for the future.
Okay.
Now, we can't change it now. It's been published, so it is what it is.
I have a question. When that money first became available, wasn't the first sets of instructions very vague and kind of guidance, not official rules, and they kept pushing back the official?
I think so, John, but I don't really know. I didn't pay that much attention to it at that time, really. That's typical. It comes out the first time and there's nobody knows what can be done with it, and then somebody else narrows it down. So, anyway.
Okay, that's the additionals you had before you for this month.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion been made and seconded to approve the additionals. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. No reappropriation of funds this month. Pay the jury.
Make a motion to pay the jury.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to pay the jury. All in favor?
Aye.
You have your cash flow statement in your packet from the auditor. Monthly reports, redevelopment,
Did not meet.
courthouse security did not meet, plan commission,
Did not meet.
solid waste.
The only thing is that the Talks Away Day is going to be September 14th at the fairgrounds, like it's been in the past. So from 8 till 1. So if you have any stuff to get rid of, that'd be the time.
That would be the time. I took a couple of donations out for the electronics.
Yeah.
Got rid of some stuff. Okay, new business. We have an appointment to the Montezuma Public Library Board. They are recommending Wayne Baldwin.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve or appoint Wayne Baldwin to the Montezuma Library Board. All in favor?
Aye.
We have a grant request from the clerk, which she actually already emailed about, because she needed to get that in. I mean, you might want to just talk about it briefly.
Okay, I applied for the 2024 Hall Election Security Grant through the Secretary of State. They won money and they're getting it back to the counties for election improvement. And we discovered that the doors in Marshall, the handicap doors, aren't working properly. So we're requesting $5,500 to get those doors back up and functioning for our voters.
Okay, we will have to have a motion in a second.
I assume that the church is all good and an active participant in this.
Yeah, they actually went and got the request for me, so they made it really easy for me.
That's nice.
Well, that's nice of them.
Yeah, that's what that's for, so I make a motion to approve the grant request.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the grant request for the clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
You getting the wrong one, didn't you?
Did you do the wrong one?
Just sign one.
All right,
Get
just
to
keep
sign.
signing.
Just keep signing.
First one.
Okay, you can have that one as a souvenir.
There you go.
How's that? Okay, Stephanie, you're on here about an additional down here at the bottom, I guess, or I don't
What we
know.
just did.
Oh, is that all what you just did? Okay, well, they put you on down here too. I didn't know if there was something else, so. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
So that's done in half an hour.
He's got that one.